school age group, body awareness and spatial awareness and balance are really important. So there wasn't a whole lot of different games that we used, but we made sure we slowed down the instructions. We gave lots of time for processing and made some things a little bit easier, but in general it was very similar to what you would program for that age group. So working with this group, we noticed that when the adults and the kids were doing the same things, so if the adult was being the model for the child, so if I was doing a crab walk, the kids would better understand how to do a crab walk because they had a model from which to base their movements on. In a game like tag, where the adult is chasing the child, they didn't fully understand what they were supposed to be doing because they didn't have anybody to compare themselves to. So games where the adult and the children were participating in the same way worked better because the kids saw and then copied what their bodies were supposed to be doing and what they were expected to be doing as well.
There are kids with mild physical and cognitive disabilities who wouldn't appear to have that, and there are also kids who have autism, so when we try to teach games or play games, it kind of literally goes out the window, as we've had beanbags go out the window. And there's a kid with hemiplegia, so he can't use the entire left side of his body, which there's a lot of adapting to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a girl who has a trach, so she's pretty much non-verbal, so when we're explaining things or she wants something, it takes a little bit more patience and perseverance to get it across. Good. When explaining the games, you had to really show them what to do instead of just say what to do, and you really had to break down each step, but also do it quickly because the attention span was not there. And then when we were playing some of the games, there would be kids who couldn't balance well enough to maybe kick a ball, they'd be falling over, or they would have not really a sense of where they were in the room, so they'd be running into walls. And then we had some kids who just couldn't do some of the things, so we had to adapt it and get creative with what we were gonna do. And that was sometimes really challenging when acting like an animal and kid couldn't do it. You're like, oh man, what animal are we gonna do now?
So early on it was pretty difficult to kind of engage the teachers. They would just kind of sit on the side and weren't really too focused, so especially initially we would just try and get them up and involved and just kind of playing with the kids just to kind of get the kids to learn, the teachers to learn that way. And then as the program wore on, then we'd get them to kind of do the more kind of disciplinary stuff, just so we were still leading the games, and they would just kind of take that extra role but still kind of be involved. And then towards the end they would maybe do 1 or 2 games in the session if they felt really comfortable. If they weren't too comfortable, again, they would just kind of join in and just kind of take little baby steps to kind of give them that encouragement and just kind of give them the knowledge base that they need to then take it on themselves. From what I can remember, that most of the teachers wasn't quite aha moments, but coming from generalist teachers like they are, they were just kind of more keying into the knowledge base that we have and just the things that we had to offer. So they felt pretty comfortable, obviously, in front of the group, just because they know the kids and they teach them every day. But just the kind of background knowledge base that we were giving them through kind of just the games and play style and what we had to offer, they were all just kind of super happy about having those extra games, just not just the normal kind of PE stuff that they would be doing every day, in the weeks and everything. So as I say, not quite the aha moments, but definitely they all came up to us and said they'd benefited from the games that we had played and everything else that we had offered, and just our leadership styles. They said they'd learned a lot just on constantly going over the rules and just reiterating everything all the time. And I think it's just kind of they just needed that little bit of insight to then give them the confidence to take that into their own lessons.
The most important thing I've learned about physical literacy is it's not one size fits all. Physical literacy is going to look really different depending on the group you're working with. So if you're working with high performance athletes or vulnerable youth or children with disabilities, physical literacy looks very different and you have to take a different approach. So it's awesome to go into a program with the knowledge of Canadian Sport for Life, long-term athlete development, fundamental movement skills, and fundamental sport skills. But once you get in there, you have to be adaptable. Get to know the kids, get to know what they like, what they don't like, what they struggle with, and adapt your programming. So your leaders have to be creative above everything else. They need to know how to adapt a game so that kids can find success no matter what their skill level is. It might be challenging, it takes a little more work and a little more time, but when all the kids in your program get physically literate and get those skills, it's well worth it. PISE has always taken a person-first approach to physical literacy. I find that people often get caught up in exactly what they need to be doing and forget that the how is just as important. So we've never gone into a community and professed that we know everything and tell them what they need. We talk to them and figure out what they want, what they need. So we start that relationship off with mutual respect, and then we can build on it. And we show the community that the number one priority for us is being there for their kids, that we really care about the kids. We don't go in just to teach running, jumping, throwing, and catching. We go in and we teach social skills first so that we can teach physical skills second. The social literacy approach is what sets PISE apart.